Today's video is brought to you by Beautiful Halo. Thank you so much for sponsoring me, first of all. And if you guys would like some good quality anime merch, you can go to Beautiful Halo, link in the description below. And on your next $49 plus order, you can get 5% off with the code MEME. And if it's $99 plus, you can get 10% off with the same code MEME. MEME. Anywho, roll the intro. Welcome back, guys. This is the King of Weebs here, and this is What If Naruto had paper release part 3. Last time we left off with Conan actually finding Naruto and taking him in, and of course Naruto spent a full month with Conan and the Sukome, and also after this, a year has passed of training Naruto and Sukome. Of course, got close to, a year and a half has passed. And, Naruto has learned a few new things. And Sukome and Naruto have been training for a while. But anyways, of course, after this, Naruto and Sukome do their last sparring session, and it goes a bit like this. Naruto, of course, actually has papers flying around him, and he's actually half paper. And Sukome then says, "This is not going to work, Naruto." And Naruto then says, "We'll have to see, Sukome. We'll have to see." And basically, Naruto, Sukome then actually blitzes Naruto, but of course, as she tries to blitz Naruto, Naruto then says, "Oh, well, yeah, I think you fell into my trap." And, Sukome then's like, "Wait, what?" And basically then, papers start, coming out of the ground, and literally it was Naruto's paper binding, which, was kind of mad. Sukome knew about this, but of course she wasn't really expecting it right now, from the very beginning. And, Naruto mostly uses it as a counter technique, right before someone's about to attack him, and, she wasn't expecting something like this from the very beginning. And of course she was trying to attack him, but usually whenever Sukome tries to blitz Naruto would just fly up with his flight technique. But anyways, of course Naruto has binded her, and then he actually lets out lightning release into his binding, which actually creates his binding into an electric binding. And Sukome actually was about to get electrocuted. The lightning was getting near her, but then Sukome actually burnt the paper by actually engulfing herself in fire. And this is something that Sukome can do. It's a bit like Pycon's technique, where he actually kicks people pretty hard, and it turns all fiery. But anyway, of course, after this, Naruto then says interesting, and then Naruto actually flies up and then says, "Well, how about this?" And basically Naruto then says, "Paper rain," and literally he brings down, he puts up his hand like the Kirin, and basically then just puts down his hand, just like Sasuke did when using the Kirin against Itachi. And it comes paper rain actually comes down, senbon of paper, which are pretty sharp and hard. They come down on Sukome, and Sukome actually gets out two of her swords. Yes, she's a swordswoman, man. Oh, Jesus Christ. Anywho, and she's just cutting through senbon after senbon and after senbon, and she's getting tired, and Naruto just kept going, and it's been like 30 seconds of just this. Now, of course, Naruto then started getting pretty bored, and so he actually, just increased the chakra in this technique, and so he just kept going. He went even further, and it got stronger, and the rain started to become stronger and stronger. And in the end, Sukome realized that if she doesn't do something, she's going to get tired enough, and Naruto is going to take advantage and finish her off. And so, Sukome actually uses all of her power and literally activates her, Mangekyo Sharingan, and uses the seasonal ribcage, and literally that was more than enough to stop Naruto. Naruto then just smiles and says, "Oh, well, finally, you finally use it again." And basically the only time Sukome ever used it was against Naruto, when he actually tapped into the the Naito's chakra, and Sukome needed it because it was too much for her to handle. But anywho, now Naruto actually started using his own technique, where he actually increased his speed and agility with lightning release, and of course he flew down to Sukome, and literally then actually Naruto then said paper style, paper dragon, and as he says that millions of paper paper piece sheets of paper start flying in, not A4, like small squares of paper, just like Conan's, and literally no squares, yeah, squares, no way, rectangle, squares, whatever, and they make a big ass dragon which was actually about to bite into Sukome's rib cage, which I mean Susanoo rib cage, not her actual rib cage, but anyway, as he was about to bite into the rib cage, Sukome then says, do you really think that's going to work? And literally as she says that, then Sukome uses her ability and literally starts her Susanoo arm, literally creates a ball, a black ball, which was actually a black hole, and literally this is Sukome's ability, which is actually OP as fuck, and literally like I mean OP, like if anything goes in there, it literally gets like literally atomized and gets destroyed. Of course, now Naruto realizing that his papers are getting sucked into a black hole and getting annihilated. Of course, Naruto just smirks and says, oh well, I guess I'll have to use it. And Sukome raises an eyebrow, and basically Naruto then says, let's see how much power your black hole can contain. And Sukome realized that Naruto finally understood her weakness, and the downside about this technique. It may be a black hole, but if it's a true black hole, it'd be just too OP. She could just suck up any villain and anyone, and so Sukome has a capacity, and if he goes over a certain amount of chakra, which Naruto has more than plenty enough of chakra to over a pass of quickly go over her capacity, and so Naruto creates a Rasen Shuriken with actual lightning release to it, and Naruto then adds more and more chakra to it, making it even bigger, and Naruto then says, are you ready, Sukome? And Sukome then says, oh no, and basically then she's like, I gotta try. This is going to break my limits and make me stronger. And basically, Sukome just puts the more chakra into her black hole, which creates an even bigger one. And Naruto's like, let's see how much she can take. And literally throws it at full strength, and basically it disappears. But, of course, then Sukome's like, huh? And basically she didn't realize that Naruto actually added lightning release to it. She doesn't know that Naruto could do that yet with a Rasen Shuriken. She only knows that there is a Vanishing Rasen, but not a Vanishing Rasen Shuriken. But anyway, that was a lot of words. Now, Sukome is like, oh no, and basically she could feel her Susanoo rib cage actually breaking down for some reason, and basically then she saw a massive explosion, and her Susanoo rib cage is half broken, and Naruto then body flickers into it, and literally says, this is over, Sukome, and literally has a kunai onto Sukome's neck, and literally then says, Sukome just puts her hands up and literally lets go of the Susanoo, and as Naruto was about to lower his guard, Sukome then says it's not over yet, and literally she was about to attack Naruto with some lightning release in her hand and literally electrocute him to paralyze him. But then Naruto then says, do you really think that's going to work? And literally Naruto literally just takes her arm, flips her over, and now Naruto, who's on top of her with the kunai right to her neck, and basically Naruto's like, one move equals your life. So basically Sukome now is fully done. But anywho, now after this Naruto actually leaves because he's done with his training. Of course, Sukome told him to just remain, and Naruto said no. Nagato allowed it since Conan did convince him, saying that they're going to capture him anyway. He can't run forever, and Nagato's alright, let him have his fun. But anyway, after this Naruto actually leaves, and in the end he still has 4 weeks until the original time that he returned into the village, but he was really far away from the land of fire, so he had to travel for 2 weeks straight to actually return to the land of fire. And now Naruto is actually walking through the land of fire. He's actually inside the land of fire, the border, so he just crossed the land of waste. He actually went to visit Haku's and Zabuza's graves, and literally Naruto then says, Haku, Zabuza, I've become much stronger than I've ever been. And I guess it's all thanks to you guys. I've finally learned what it means to have a precious one, a truly precious one. Well, I have two now, both Conan and Sukome. And of course, Nagato is like an older brother to me. But anyways, I'll be leaving now. It's all thanks to you. I've learned all these things about the ninja world. I want to thank you all, both of yous. Anywho, of course, now Naruto has been walking through the land of waves and basically, land of fire now. But anyways, Naruto actually saw someone who was actually sitting down in a in the place where Naruto actually was sitting with the Jiraiya in when they actually went on their 2 year training. Jiraiya was telling Naruto about that he wanted to create peace in this world, and if he's not able to do it, Naruto will do it. And Naruto sees that Jiraiya was just writing a book, and he looked pretty bummed out. It's been 2 years and a half, and Jiraiya hasn't found his godson. He's hasn't made too much progress with finding Orochimaru either, but he's made a lot of progress on gathering information about the Akatsuki. But anywho, now of course Naruto actually heads towards him, and he's like, he looks pretty depressed. How about I scare him a bit? And then Naruto throws a kunai at top speeds, and Jiraiya sees this coming from a mile away and literally blocks the kunai with his own, and literally then Naruto actually is behind him and just taps him and says, I guess you're pretty fast as usual, of course. And Jiraiya then looks behind him and he's like, Naruto? And Naruto then smiles and says, well, I've returned. How you doing? And basically, Jiraiya then just hugs Naruto and says, what the hell, where have you been? And, with tears in his eyes, and Naruto's like, there's no need to cry. I've been on my own journey, and I've become much stronger than I ever was. And now, if I ever see Sasuke again, this time, I'll be strong enough to actually bring him back to the village. I won't be as weak as I used to be. And, Jiraiya then just smiles and says, that's the spirit, Naruto. But I still want to know what you've been doing. And, Naruto then just says, I told you I've been getting stronger. And, then Jiraiya asks, with who has trained you? I can see that you've gone a lot stronger, but you couldn't have done this on your own. And, Naruto then says, well, you could say that I met someone that you may actually know. And, then Naruto explains that he's actually been with Conan. He didn't tell him about, how he actually, he didn't tell Jiraiya that he was with the Akatsuki for the past 2 years and a half. He hasn't been doing any missions, but of course he was with them. It was like under their custody or something. But anyway, of course, Jiraiya actually doesn't want to pry on Naruto's life or anything. Of course, he still wants to know where Naruto was all this time, but still, now. Naruto then tells Jiraiya not to worry, and after this, Naruto and Jiraiya return to the village hidden in the leaves, and Tsunade was actually really curious of what happened to Naruto. Naruto then says, just don't worry, I've just been training myself, and Tsunade says that that's not a good answer to give me, and now Naruto then says, well, you won't get a better answer than that, and Tsunade is like, god damn you, Naruto. And anywho, of course, now Naruto then says, oh well, anywho, how has Kakashi Sensei been? And Naruto is asking about his old team, Kakashi and Sakura. Anyways, now Naruto, who of course asked about Sakura, then Tsunade started bragging a bit about how Sakura is now her student and she's become a lot stronger than what she was before. And Naruto then says, well, that's good, I guess she's been training too. And then Sakura was actually called in, and Sakura then started crying and literally hugged Naruto and says, where have you been, why did you leave me too? And Naruto then says, Sakura, I left because I needed to get stronger. I need to get strong enough to actually be able to bring back Sasuke one day. And Sakura then says, that doesn't mean you have to leave the village now, do you? And Naruto then says, well, I had to do what I had to do, Sakura. I can't that was the only way I could have become stronger. And Sakura then says, couldn't you have become stronger here in the village? Didn't you say that Sasuke could have done that too? And Naruto then says, I'm sorry, Sakura. And Naruto was actually genuinely sorry for that he had to do this to Sakura, because Sakura must have been hurt. Not only did Sasuke leave, someone that she literally liked and everything, and of course now Naruto left as well. After all the things that he's promised her, like he promised her that he would bring back Sasuke, and then he couldn't bring back Sasuke, and now he left as well. Sakura must have been left heartbroken. But anywho, of course, now after this, Naruto then, after apologizing multiple times to Sakura, then Sakura then says it's fine. We still have a test to go on, and through, and basically Naruto's like, huh? And then Kakashi comes in and says, yes, Naruto, it's been 2 years and a half. You should be in prison for leaving the village, but you have to do the belt is taken. Naruto, you're pretty energetic, and Kakashi missed his team. Of course, Sasuke is not here, but he missed his two team, his team like Naruto and Sakura, Sasuke. He missed all three of them, but at least he has two of them now. Of course, Sakura was there to keep him company and everything, but still, as a sensei, he felt really guilty that he allowed his two students to leave. But anywho, now, after this, Naruto and Sakura get ready, and the belt test goes a lot different here. It's not the same as in the original, how they had to work the whole night, the whole day to get the belts. Naruto and Sakura were able to get the belts easily from Kakashi, because Naruto had all these new techniques, and he has all 5 chakra natures, and Naruto actually increased his speed with both wind release and lightning release, which actually helped Naruto actually, vanish for a few seconds. It's a bit like time skip and teleportation at the same time. But anyway, of course, Kakashi was really confused at this, but he was always able to block Naruto's punches because Naruto wasn't really trying. If he really tried, he could have literally killed Kakashi on the spot. But really, does Naruto want to kill Kakashi now? No, he does not. Anyway, of course, in the end, Sakura gets a good punch into the ground, breaking the ground underneath Kakashi, and Naruto was able to take the bells and give one to Sakura, and they worked together, and they were able to get the bells. Anyway, of course, the next day Naruto's called into the village, to the Hokage's office, finding out about Gaara being captured. Naruto's like, God damn, I should have been expecting this, and but anywho, of course, Team 7 was put up, to the task of go and help the Sand Village out and rescue the Kazekage. And of course, Naruto was ready for this, and he's like, all right, I'll be leaving. And basically, Kakashi's like, wait, Naruto, not yet. And basically, Naruto's like, wait, what? And basically, he told Naruto that they need to wait for to get ready. And basically, Team Guy was put up in this mission too, because of Team Kakashi may be needing help. You never know what could happen. And basically, it is the Akatsuki, and they don't have too much info about them. But anyways, of course, Naruto's like, all right then. And basically, he was like, this is a drag. Don't really want to do this. And basically, he doesn't want to wait. But in the end, they leave, and still they find Temari on the way. And in the end, they go to the Sand Village. And now, after arriving at the Sand Village, after a few days, after 3 days of traveling, Team 7, Naruto was pretty worried about Gaara. And anywho, now after this, Naruto and Team 7, Team 7 and Team Guy went together to find Gaara, and of course Sakura made the antidote, but by the time they arrived, Gaara was already dead, and Naruto was like, God damn it, all the times I'm late or I'm too weak, why? And Naruto was pretty pissed off that now Gaara's dead too, after allowing Sasuke to leave the village and everything. Naruto was completely triggered, and he's like, you're all dead. And these two really didn't know about Naruto's existence within the Akatsuki, because Conan has never revealed it to anyone except for Nagato. And Naruto was really hidden, and Sukome actually started spending most of her time with Conan because of Naruto. She always wanted to stay with Naruto, spend her time with Naruto. But anyway, of course, now Naruto and Sukome, who have been training with Conan for a while now, and in the end Conan was of course they trained together and everything, but of course the actual Akatsuki never really knew about Naruto's existence in the Akatsuki or anything, or his presence in the Akatsuki, or with Akatsuki members, for example Sukome, Conan, and Nagato. Even Obito didn't come to find out. I'm pretty sure he had some suspicions why Sukome all of a sudden just started spending more time with Conan, but he really didn't have the time to go and investigate for himself. Anywho, after this, Naruto, Team 7, and Chio were able to destroy Deidara on the spot, and Sasori was the one remaining, and in the end, Naruto didn't actually kill Sasori because he actually targeted Jutsu him with uh, Chio, and in the end, Deidara actually Sasori gave up and in the end returned to the Leaf Village. Of course, he got imprisoned, and Chio actually gave her life up, and Naruto was saddened by this, and Sasori is like, Grandma Chio did this for the Kazakage, and she did what she thought was best. She used to hate the sand and the leaf, but now look at her. She's changed so much. I'm happy for her. She died in peace. And in the end, Gaara allowed Sasori to get out of the jail and start working as a shinobi again. But of course, the Akatsuki was pretty pissed off that Sasori would leave, but they don't have the time for this. They have to capture all the tail beasts as fast as possible. But anyway, of course, Naruto returns to the Leaf Village to find out about Asuma's death, and here they actually spend some time. Well, Naruto spends some time helping out Team 10 to train. Yes, Naruto training Team 10. That was a new one. But anyway, of course, Team 10 was grateful for Naruto actually helping out in their training, and this was something that Team 10 wasn't expecting from Naruto. But anyway, of course, Naruto was more than happy enough to help out Team 10 doing something like this, because Naruto felt kind of responsible for Team 10 losing their master, because of Naruto had the multiple opportunity to actually kill many Akatsuki members, but of course he never did that because Naruto can't really reveal his he couldn't reveal that he was he knew about the Akatsuki and everything because of Conan, of course, telling him not to. But anyways, of course, now Naruto, who of course, Naruto, after finding out about Asuma's death, trained Team 10 pretty hard. He wasn't going easy on them at all. But anyway, after this, Team 10 trained hard enough to actually get stronger, and in the end they actually left with Team 7. Of course, Team 7 still went on that mission to find Sasuke, but of course that didn't go too well. Naruto was pretty pissed off that he couldn't bring back Sasuke again, but he had to deal with it because he didn't have the time for it because of Naruto having to return to the village and everything. But anyway, after this, Naruto, who has finally left the village again with Team 10, not again with them, but of course he left the village again. He left for 2 years and a half, then 2 days later he left again for Gaara, and now he left again because of Team 10. Of course he's not blaming them or anything, but of course Naruto kind of felt sad that of course right after he returns he has to do all these things. But anyway, of course he doesn't really mind it. It's for the village, and he returned to the village to help them out. He's not here to just take a rest or anything. But anyway, of course, now Naruto, who of course has trained for this all for the past 2 years and a half, now he's ready for it. And anyway, now after this, Naruto, who actually finally met Kakuzu and Hidan. Of course he knew about them, but of course he didn't actually meet them face to face. But anywho, of course now after meeting them, he really wants to kill them because of them actually killing one of the Leaf Shinobi, and Naruto was offended kind of. But anywho, of course now he wasn't really offended. That's not a way to put it. But anyway, of course, now Naruto actually begins the fight with Kakuzu, while Team 10 actually take care of Hidan and Hidan. I thought I got his name wrong. But anyway, after this, Naruto and Kakashi were able to take out most of the hearts of Kakuzu, and Naruto in the end actually decided to take on the last star, which was actual Kakuzu. And Naruto actually used his paper dragon jutsu, which actually he created a massive dragon, and Kakuzu had to use his earth grudge against that dragon, and he was like, oh, that was a close one. But as he says that Naruto was actually able to use both wind and lightning release, a bit of swift release basically. Some people have told me that to actually allow Naruto to do that, do a what if when Naruto had swift release. That was back when I was first starting YouTube, and I still have people telling me to do it nowadays. But anyway, Naruto, of course, teleports behind him and literally has a Rasen Shuriken ready and literally smashes it into Kakazu, and Kakazu goes flying into the air, and basically there's a massive explosion, and Naruto just with his hands in his pocket just looks up, and he's like, well, I should do a fireworks workshop. But anyway, of course, now after this, Team 7 and Team 10 actually return to the village, and then basically during this time, they find out about, Sasuke killing Orochimaru, and Naruto was like, God damn it, Sasuke killed Orochimaru, and basically he thought that, he was a bit weaker than Sasuke now. But anywho, of course, now Naruto, was ready for pretty much everything now. But anyways, of course, he wanted to go and bring back Sasuke like right now. But anywho, he couldn't. But he couldn't do that. Not by anywho. Of course, he couldn't do that now. But anyways, after this, Naruto actually, found out, well, of course, sorry, not Naruto, Sasuke still, got that message to come to the Uchiha, Uchiha thing. I forgot the name. I think it was the Uchiha compound. But he, of course, he, Itachi told him to go to the Uchiha compound and literally fight him there. If he really wants to kill Itachi, he should go there. And now Sasuke actually was heading towards there, and anyways, of course, now Naruto, he was walking down the village at night. He was actually going to the convenience store, and Sasuke was able to kill Itachi, and word was going all around, and Naruto was like, God damn it. And Sasuke still joined the Akatsuki, and here Sasuke actually met Sukome, and Sukome and Sasuke were tasked with the capturing the Eight Tails, and Sukome then realized that this is Sasuke Uchiha, the person that Naruto was actually pursuing, someone that Naruto wanted to actually return to the Leaf Village, and she actually thought of actually bringing Sasuke back to the village for Naruto, but of course she didn't want to do that because that would just go against Naruto's goal. But anyway, of course, Naruto, who was actually walking down the village, actually finds out about Jiraiya wanting to go to the Leaf Village and to actually capture. Jiraiya wanted to go to the Rain Village to go and get more information about the Akatsuki leader, and so he was about to head there at dawn, but Naruto was actually following him all the way there, and in the end, when Jiraiya gets caught by Pain and Conan, Naruto actually, Conan actually uses her, paper swans, and Naruto actually counters them by actually using his own, and they explode, and Jiraiya was completely baffled on what just happened. He's like, wait, what? And Nagato, Pain, and both Conan actually knew what this was, and Conan was kind of happy to see Naruto again, and she's like, here he is again. And basically, Naruto then says, so Conan was about to attack Jiraiya Sensei. I swear they were like students of him. Oh well. But anyway, of course, now Naruto and Naruto and Jiraiya actually fought Conan and Pain. Of course, all the 6 paths of Pain were here. But anyways, of course, now Naruto, who was completely aware that Pain had multiple abilities. They were both able to do some kind of damage against Pain, not much damage against Conan, because Conan really didn't fight, and plus Naruto didn't want to fight her at all because he thought of Conan like an older sister and everything. But anywho, of course, now Naruto then says, okay, we need to escape, we're going to die. And basically Jiraiya's like, wait, what do you mean? And basically Naruto's telling him that this is a lost fight, they're not going to beat Pain like this. Even though Jiraiya is in his semi-perfect or imperfect sage mode, Naruto tells Jiraiya that they're not going to win this fight. And basically now Naruto and Jiraiya actually escape, and they return to the village with the reverse summon jutsu, and they were really, really injured. It wasn't easy. The fight was really hard against Pain Pain, and in the end Naruto actually goes to train with Jiraiya to master Sage Mode, and they both master Sage Mode, but by the time they return, Pain has already destroyed the village, and Naruto returns to see the village that he loved so much destroyed, and he was like, God damn it. And basically, Naruto was completely pissed. He was like, nah fam, how could this happen? Like, literally, I've left to become stronger, to protect this village, and this happens. I leave again. Naruto has returned to the village, but literally he's been out of the village just as much as he's been more, well, he's been out of the village more than staying in the village, protecting it with everything he's got. But anyway, of course, Naruto was pretty freaking pissed. But anyways, of course, now Naruto, who wanted to get revenge on Pain, of course knew that he knew that Nagato was a kind person. He it's just that the situations that he's been in, they just made him like this. It's not that Nagato is bad or anything. But anyway, of course, Naruto was still pissed off, and even Jiraiya was pissed, and they both came in. Well, Naruto came in to save what's her name? Naruto destroyed the Naraka path within one punch, just as in the original. But anyway, of course, now after this, Naruto and both Jiraiya were able to easily overpower the Diva path. But anywho, of course, now after this, after all of this, in the end they actually go to Takuno Jutsu Pain and Nagato, and Nagato still revives everyone in the Leaf Village as a compensation of all all of the sins that he's done. And in the end Nagato dies, and Conan actually Naruto doesn't allow Conan to go and fight Obito, because Naruto actually knew that Conan was going to do that, and Naruto's like, nah G, you ain't going, fam, you're not gonna go back, and nah, we're going to go with you to bury Nagato. And Conan actually left Nagato's eyes because she never thought that Obito would find out. But in the end, Obito and Zetsu were able to search pretty fast, especially because of Obito's Kamui, and Zetsu being able to literally come out every single spot of the world. Like, literally, bro, how the fuck can you do that? Anywho, of course, in the end, a 5 Kage summit was still was still demanded by the Raikage, because of the capture of the 8 tails, and Naruto was the only tail beast remaining. Well, only Jinchuriki and only tail beast. Well, Kurama was the only tail beast remaining. But anyway, now, and well, you see, no, Gaara's not a Jinchuriki anymore. But anyway, of course, now Naruto still wanted to go, and he actually went alone. And in the end, of course, because Danzo actually went there, Sasuke was going to be there, and Tsuki, I'm an idiot, I'm an actual schmuck, Tsukome, who was actually there with Obito, who was actually about to start the fourth Great Ninja War. But anywho, of course, now Naruto actually arrives to see that Sasuke killed Danzo, and in the end, Naruto told Sasuke that if they fight, they probably both will do probs. Why am I speaking slang now? They will probably both die, and basically, Naruto is literally just bullshitting at this point. That if they fight, Sasuke will die, and basically, I don't even know why Naruto even said in the original series. That was just stupid. Anyway, of course, now. Of course, Naruto, Naruto, who saw Tsukome, Tsukome, couldn't really leave with Naruto, even though she wanted to leave with Naruto really badly. Of course, Obito was there, and, in the end, Naruto realized that Tsukome was held, basically captive by Obito, but of course, Naruto wanted to help out, and so, basically, Naruto told Tsukome just to return with him, and basically Obito's like, what, Tsukome? And Naruto then says, who are you? And basically Obito then says, I'm Tobi, or you may call me Madara. And basically Naruto's like, Madara my ass, I don't care who you are. And basically Naruto was pretty pissed off that Sukome was pretty much held by Madara because she can't return with him. But anyway, of course, now Naruto just tries to fight Obito on the spot, but of course then he wasn't able to because of him not being strong enough in the first place. But anyway, now now Naruto, of course, after all of this, he's like, okay, all right, then because he was getting pretty much destroyed by Obito. But anyways, of course, now Naruto actually has given up, and basically he was about to escape because he wasn't able to fight Obito on his own. But then Sukome is like, nah, you ain't touching Naruto like that. And basically she's like, you're not hurting my Naruto. And basically she was pretty pissed off that Obito was doing this to Naruto, and she's like, what the hell are you doing? How dare you? And so she summons her Susanoo, and with her her Susanoo, she tries to actually kill Obito. But we all know that Obito is way stronger than Sukome. Even though Sukome has that black hole thing, Obito is much stronger. But anywho, now in the end, Obito actually decided to escape with Sasuke only and leave Sukome and Naruto. Then thanks Sukome for helping him out, and Sukome then says it's fine, it's nothing at all. And then basically Naruto and Sukome return to the village, and in the end Naruto was still put in that same place where of course the Shinobi Alliance was made, and Naruto was put in the same place where he was put in the original to actually master the Nine Tails. And here Sukome was actually put up on the front lines with Conan, and of course Jiraiya was in the headquarters with the Raikage and Tsunade, mostly because he wasn't sure if Tsunade would start a fight with the Raikage. But anywho, after this, Naruto actually masters the Nine Tails chakra with Yamato. But since Kisame is still alive here, Naruto and Yamato still gets taken by Kabuto. But anyways, Kabuto was able to find out where Naruto is thanks to Zetsu, and Zetsu really don't want to fight KCM Naruto. And then KCM Naruto was still stopped by both Jiraiya, Jiraiya, Tsunade, and the Raikage. And Naruto then showed off that he can actually be able to. I'm just saying, Naruto actually met both Minato and Kushina here, and finally understood everything. But anyways, of course, now Naruto was no fool, and he wasn't he wasn't that weak against the Raikage and both Tsunade and Jiraiya. Also Jiraiya was there. But anyway, of course, he was able to destroy all of them. Of course, he's not going to actually hurt them, but with the speed that he had, he really reminded them of he reminded them of Minato, especially Jiraiya, because Jiraiya was his master and everything. And so after this, Naruto, Jiraiya, and Tsunade was actually really happy that Naruto became this strong, and so she allowed him to actually leave to go to the war. And the next morning, Naruto was actually going through the war until he actually came across Nagato, and Nagato asked Naruto if he got stronger, and Naruto then says, yes, I've gotten a lot stronger. And Nagato was happy with Naruto's improvement, same as Itachi. Itachi was really impressed that Naruto was able to harness the Nine Tails' chakra like this. But anywho, of course, now Naruto then tells them that they are actually reanimations, and of course they actually realize that. But anywho, of course, now Nagato and Itachi fight Naruto, and Naruto here wasn't weak at all, and he was more than strong enough to actually take on both of them together. But in the end, here Itachi actually was able to give Naruto the gift when he actually met him in the Akatsuki. Yes, I'm going to use some plot armor here, and I'm going to say that Naruto actually met Itachi during the time that he was in the Akatsuki. Well, not really in the Akatsuki, but with Conan, and Itachi was aware of Naruto, and that's something that I maybe should have mentioned. I was going to do this anyway, but of course, Itachi giving the gift to Naruto, but anywho, of course, in the end, using the Kota Matsukami to let himself out, and anywho, now, of course, Naruto and Itachi. Well, Itachi actually left to actually go find, fight. Kabuto, and Kabuto and was actually beaten by Naruto and Itachi. And anywho, now after this, Naruto and Naruto actually still had to go up against all the tail beast, Jinchuriki, former Jinchuriki, because they're all reanimations now. But anywho, of course, even Killer Bee and Naruto, after being able to barely beat the Four Tails, he was completely battered, and he was really weakened, and he realized that maybe he won't be able to beat all of them like this. And in the end, Naruto asked the Nine Tails for his assistance, and the Nine Tails was more than happy enough to actually give Naruto his assistance, especially because of Obito disrespecting all the Jinchuriki, like all the tail beasts like this, and treating them like tools, just like everybody did even back in the days. And Naruto and Kurama were able to beat all the Jinchuriki. But anyway, after this, Naruto actually went off to fight Obito. Obito and Kakashi, Guy, Naruto, and here, instead of Killer Bee, was actually Sukome. They actually had to fight the Ten Tails, and the Ten Tails in the end was revived. Sasuke still went off with the Orochimaru to find out what it truly meant to be a Hokage, and the Hokage explained to Naruto, Sasuke about everything, and Sasuke actually found out everything about Itachi. But now, after all of this understanding, Sasuke went to the front lines to fight with Naruto, and holy Jesus Christ, I'm playing Dragon Ball Legends, and this team, I don't want to verse him, oh my god, sorry guys. Anywho, after this, Naruto, Naruto, Sasuke, and Sukome were pretty much the top, the hardest hitters in the War Arc. But in the end, Naruto still got annihilated after being able to talk no Jutsu Obito, and Sasuke and Naruto got annihilated. Sasuke being killed by Madara, and Naruto having his tail beast extracted, which is Kurama. Of course, in the end, Minato tries to revive Naruto, but of course he couldn't. And I know I'm not doing much about Naruto's paper release, but this is where it's going to come in handy. But now, of course, Naruto gets revived and comes in to save Might Guy, and Naruto actually goes into his KCM, and he actually turns into Papon, and this what's his name? Madara was thrown off by this. But anywho, of course, Naruto wasn't joking anymore, and he's being serious about this fight. And he lets out his paper release and literally creates a dragon out of his paper. And this dragon had wasn't just a normal dragon. He was a pretty freaking OP, especially because he had Truth Seeker teeth. Literally, his teeth were made out of Truth Seeker orbs, and basically, Naruto literally wanted to kill Madara, and then he wasn't going to have any mercy, even after finding out that Sukome is actually his granddaughter. Naruto was like, nah fam, I don't care who the hell your granddaughter is, I don't care if I love Sukome, bro, you're dying fam, you caused too much pain and suffering to hella people fam, nah, I'm good. Anyway, of course, now in the end, he gets pretty much annihilated, but of course Kaguya, he gets betrayed by Zetsu, and Kaguya gets revived, and in the end, Naruto and Sasuke have to go up against Kaguya, but Naruto then actually lets out everything that he has. And Sukome and Naruto were able to kind of destroy Kaguya. Even Sasuke came in, and Obito and Kakashi were literally just watching. They were like, Jesus Christ, if we had to verse them, we'd fucking die. And of course now all three of them were able to get pretty good hits on Kaguya. Even Tsuki was able to actually whoop away, destroy some of Kaguya's body parts. And then Naruto actually came in with the final blow and literally killed Kaguya. And he got the curse mark, karma seal. And that's where I'm gonna end off. And also the final fight never happened because of Naruto being so OP. Now Naruto even was able to teleport all of them back to the real world. And Sasuke realized how strong Naruto was, and so he's like, oh yo, Naruto's going to kill me, fam, if I fight him. Fam, I'm good. And Sasuke actually gave up on his revolution because he realized how much stronger Naruto is compared to him. But anyway, of course, Sasuke, who has given up in his revolution complex. But anyway, of course, now Naruto and Sukome in the end get married in the future. But anywho, I hope you all enjoyed it. Please take care, stay safe. This was the King of Weaves there, and anywho, I hope you all enjoyed this What If, and peace. Also, my outro. Don't forget to subscribe to Ratreet, Miniman123. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my second channel, The King of Noobs, and also don't forget to follow Shokin on Instagram, follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and join my Discord server. Links are all in the description below, so don't forget. You can find all the links there, so you won't miss it. There are a lot of links. So anywho, this was the King of Weebs, and peace.